Detroit, Michigan, the center of the automotive universe. Every January at Cobo Hall, manufacturers unveil their biggest, brightest, and best here in the Motor City. After big sales in 2014, how will the automotive industry top it? How about all new innovation, more luxury, and some good old-fashioned American horsepower? It's the 2015 North American International Auto Show, and it's next on NBC Sports. NBC Sports presents the North American International Auto Show, better known as the Detroit Auto Show. And welcome inside Cobo Hall for the 2015 presentation of the North American International Auto Show on NBC Sports. I'm Marty Snyder, and there were over 60 worldwide debuts here in Detroit this year, so we're going to show you all the coolest new vehicles for 2015 over the next hour. To bring you all the cool new stuff, we're going to have our usual NBC Sports team, Kelly Stavis, Kevin Lee, and Townsend Bell as well. But I am happy to welcome to the NBC Sports family my good friend, Rutledge Wood. You know him from Top Gear. You also know him as an overall car guy. And for a guy like you, Rud, I assume a show like this is just a playground, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. Every new car that's out here is really, this is your first chance to see it up close. New specs, new design, and of course the concept cars. So for me, it really is a big playground. The hardest part is from where we're standing, there's thousands of horsepower in every color combination under the rainbow just from right here.
And you said you love the concepts, right?
Oh, you know I do.
And that's what everybody likes to talk about here in Detroit, and that's where we kick things off with Kelly Stavis.
Yeah, Marty, these really are the cars of the future, and the first one I want to focus on is the Q60 concept. It's the very epitome of high performance and sport dynamics. It's Infinity's vision for the sports coupe of tomorrow. For starters, this car looks like it's been handcrafted with razor-sharp edges and deep recesses, which give you the impression that the coupe sits lower to the ground than it actually does. In many ways, the Q60 concept is simply another step in the evolutionary process at Infinity that began last year with the global premiere of the Q80 Inspiration and the Q50 Eau Rouge. So this car is the culmination of Infinity performance and the science and sport of Formula One racing. The Q60 concept wears a special color called Arctic aluminum. It looks like it's been machined from a solid aluminum block rather than painted. The coating gleams and it stretches around the body like a metallic skin. The impression you get is that the coupe is a solid piece of liquid aluminum slicing through the air. The plush inside of the Q60 concept is designed to match the sportiness outside. There's a powerful blend of three-dimensional textures, gorgeous craftsmanship, and precise attention to detail. You'll see hand stitching on the leather-wrapped instrument panel and steering wheel. An array of leathers was used on the seats, designed to bring out the very best in comfort and in luxury. From high performance and luxury, we make a little bit of a leap to the Bolt EV concept. This is another step forward in Chevrolet's leadership on the electric vehicle front. Their vision for what they describe as a game-changing all-electric vehicle, more than 200 miles of range and a price tag of about $30,000. Bolt drivers will be able to select operating modes designed around whatever driving style is preferred, from daily commuting to weekend cruising. The Bolt has practically no front or rear overhang, so it maximizes its interior space and feels downright roomy for 4 passengers. Lightweight materials, including aluminum, magnesium, carbon fiber, and even woven mesh, complement the design, and they drive down the curb weight to help maximize range. The Bolt's easy-to-use technology is highlighted by a large, color 10-inch touchscreen with interface features, and it allows the projection of smartphone data onto the screen. Insiders at GM tell me the mandate for the Bolt was to achieve the ultimate meshing of form and function. At the same time, it reaffirms GM's commitment to electrification and shows the importance of electric vehicles that are more affordable for a wider range of consumers. Now let's see what Townsend's up to over at Hyundai.
Thanks, Kelly, and hello, everyone. I love coming to Detroit because we get to see concepts. We can dream and imagine better automotive solutions, and we're here at Hyundai where they have the Santa Cruz crossover truck concept, which is really aimed at millennials. What's a millennial? I'm not really sure, but I think I've got 2 of them at home. And this vehicle is pretty cool. It's a crossover truck. It's meant to be small enough to park in the city, but the ability to expand and accommodate your adventurous spirit on the weekends. It starts up front. Everything you see in fluorescent green has a function. These are slide-out tow hooks. I love the detail on the front end, this big eyelid feature covering the LEDs. As we move further back, this big scalloped air intake is really tastefully done. You see this on a lot of Range Rovers, Jaguars, but I love the way that they've detailed that out. And then as we go further back, of course, clamshell doors, but on top, lots of locations to tie down your gear. All of these tow hooks pop up, even over the wheel wells. I've never seen this before. You can lash your gear. If you had a kayak, if you had mountain bikes, furniture, you can lash all of these locations. But probably my favorite feature is the expandable bed. Let's say this is about 3.5 feet in normal form. You want to carry a dirt bike, you've got a couch, you want to transport around all kinds of camping gear. This will sleeve all the way out to about 6 feet to accommodate much more cargo. Very cool idea. Again, small enough to accommodate your city parking, but adventurous enough for the weekends. Let's go over to Buick and see what they've got. Avenir means future in French, and Buick tells us that this concept represents the future design language for their brand. I got to tell you, it is stunning in person. The way that the design features flow so effortlessly front to rear, most of the elements parallel to the ground, the intake, the mirrors, the door handles swept nicely back into the body, much like the Tesla. And then as you come further back, these really nice arches come all the way back and flow right into the trunk design, and it's a sculpted kick up at the tail here, which suggests downforce. As opposed to putting a wing on top of something, it's all molded into the body. Now inside, there are the awesome rear seats, which are really kind of bucket seats, almost like a fighter pilot position for your rear passengers. From a technology standpoint, it's got total integration with your home automation system. I got to tell you guys, Buick in their current lineup, nothing nearly as elegant as this. I hope they make this car. It could really set the brand in a whole new direction.
I am Kevin Lee. Coming up, we'll show you the latest in alternative fuel cars, including this one, the Hyundai Sonata plug-in hybrid.
The 2016 Chevrolet Volt.
Welcome back to the Detroit Auto Show on NBC Sports. The Chevy Volt gets a complete redesign for 2016. The new version will be out later this year. It's 10% more efficient than the previous Volt. You get 50 miles in electric range, 400 miles in total range. But the cool thing is actually inside the car with the rear seats. It used to be in a Chevy Volt, you could only fit 2 in the rear of the car. Well, Chevrolet has now added a middle third seat where the battery compartment used to be. So now you can officially sit 5 people inside your Chevy Volt. So some redesigned things inside and terrific fuel mileage as well. For more on alternative fuel cars, here's Kevin Lee.
This is Hyundai's first ever plug-in hybrid, the 2016 Sonata. It also comes in a non-plug-in hybrid version as well, and of course the traditional gasoline-powered sedan, which already gets about 35 miles per gallon. But in EV mode, the Sonata's 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and battery produce 202 horsepower and up to 93 miles per gallon. In charge-sustaining mode, estimated mileage is 38 miles per gallon in the city, 43 on the highway. On all-electric power, the plug-in Sonata can travel up to 22 miles on a single charge. Hyundai says that's farther than any other plug-in midsize sedan. If the battery runs out of juice, the car operates just like a gas-powered Sonata, Hyundai's most popular car. Recharging the battery takes about 2.5 hours. The Sonata hybrid plug-in comes with a smartphone app that lets you control the car's charging schedule if you want to. That's how you can charge the battery when electric rates are lower. Toyota's new alternative fuel vehicle, the Mirai, has a battery too, but you never have to charge it. It charges off the car's engine, just like the Toyota Prius. But unlike the Prius and nearly every other car on the road, it runs on compressed hydrogen, not gasoline.
You can actually fill the vehicle up at various filling stations throughout the state of California. Currently about 12 stations available right at the moment. Air Liquide, our collaborating partners, are going to actually put a total of 12 stations in the Northeast region, and New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts.
Mirai, by the way, is Japanese for the future. In the future, sometime in 2016, the car will be available in the Northeast as well as more hydrogen filling stations are built there. If and when you find one, a fill-up will cost about $25 to $35, about the same as what a tank of gas costs right now. And the price of compressed hydrogen is expected to go down as more stations are built. The price of the car itself, $57,500. Rutledge is looking at alternative fuel SUVs. Rutledge, what kind of options are you seeing?
Another option, Kevin, is going diesel. And one manufacturer doing that is Land Rover with a new option for their Range Rover Sport. Debuting last year in Detroit, Land Rover shows us a new version offering a 3-liter turbocharged V6 diesel engine. A first for the brand in the US, even though they've been doing it for years in Europe. With 254 horsepower mated to an 8-speed automatic, this new option gets you combined fuel economy of 25 miles per gallon. This is a big gain over the Range Rover Sport SE gasoline supercharged V8 that only gets 19 miles per gallon combined. So if you're planning on trading in your gasoline version for a new diesel in the fall and you're worried you might put the wrong fuel in, have no fear. Range Rover thought about that. That's why inside the fuel tank filler neck there's a device that won't let you put a gas pump inside a diesel. Now if changing fuels isn't enough for a manufacturer to find better miles per gallon, sometimes the best way to do it is to build a whole new car. Volkswagen has done just that, showing off their new concept, the Cross Coupe GTE. Taking the familiar shape of an SUV, VW has injected it full of technology. Designed around a plug-in hybrid system, power comes in the form of 3 ways. The first is a 3.6-liter VR6 gasoline engine, followed by an additional 2 electric motors. With a total output of 355 horsepower, the Cross Coupe GTE releases that power through an all-wheel drive system that uses an electric drive shaft, delivering an estimated fuel economy of 70 mpge and up to 20 miles on electric power alone. But you won't find the technology just under the hood. It surrounds you inside the car. From the infotainment dash, which can change screen styles depending on the driving conditions, to the new gesture-based controls unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show. So from diesels to plug-in hybrids, the segment where high-mileage hopes were just a dream are now becoming a reality.
Coming up, I'll show you how your car's interface could become as useful and intuitive as your smartphone or tablet.
And Kelly, there is horsepower crawling all over the place here. It used to be 400 was the number, then 500, now 600 horsepower in a luxury sedan. All that and more when we come back to the North American International Auto Show.
It's here. The all-new Acura NSX.
Welcome back to Detroit, where Volkswagen is celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Golf, and they're doing it with a lot of hardware as well. They came into Detroit with the award you see behind me, Motor Trend Car of the Year. While they were here at the auto show, they also won North American Car of the Year. So why is the Volkswagen Golf beating out the Ford Mustang for all of these awards when they made very few changes on the 2015 version? We're hearing it's the versatility of the line. You can truly find a car for anything. There's the standard Golf version, very fun to drive, also fits the family as well. There's the R version with high horsepower. There's the diesel version as well, and the E version, the electric version of the car. And Volkswagen has even taken that to the next level by introducing inductive charging. No longer would you have to plug your Golf into the wall. You just pull it over a mat, leave it there overnight, and your Golf is charged in the morning. Of course, all of that technology is just a concept at this point, but that would be very cool to see in the future. For more on emerging technologies, here's Kelly.
Marty, I'm sitting at the controls of what Audi calls its virtual cockpit on the 2016 TT. They have taken the latest and greatest in technology and put it all in one screen right in front of the driver to help minimize distraction. And what's more, you can operate almost any function on this vehicle without ever taking your hands off the steering wheel. This is Audi's MMI Navigation Plus package. It displays clear, smooth scrolling maps on a high contrast color screen that doubles as the gauge cluster. Then you add Audi Connect, which uses an embedded LTE data connection for enhanced Google Earth and Google Street View displays, real-time traffic information, and even integrated interfaces for Facebook and Twitter. You'll get Bluetooth calling and audio streaming and 10 gigabytes for storing music files. Volvo is so proud of its new Sensus infotainment system that it took it out of the XC90 and put it on display here in Detroit. Now, this is a system that moves away from the voice recognition technology and moves towards this vertical touchscreen interface that more closely resembles your tablet or smartphone at home. And Volvo hopes that this new system will help make the process of getting information more intuitive.
What we've done and with this brilliant, completely new XC90 has been to create the most intuitive interaction points that we could do. And we have based it on the consumer needs and to study what really makes sense in a time where connectivity and the Internet of Things really takes place. So what we've done is to make many interaction points. We have the head-up display, the full graphical display, but also the touch screen, which we have now designed in a way that you could easily use it and you would be able to do the things you need to do in a Volvo car.
And navigation maps from Nokia can be pinched, expanded, even rotated, just like on your tablet or smartphone. Hyundai is taking its latest technology outside of the cockpit. While wearing an Android watch, owners can start, lock, or find their car using Google Maps. This technology is available on any Hyundai equipped with BlueLink for model year 2012 and on. But manufacturers aren't just upping the ante inside the cockpit, they're doing the same thing under the hood. Let's see how much horsepower Townsend has found.
Kelly, thanks for the update on technology, but let's get back to the meat of this show. Detroit is all about performance this year. Nowhere is that more evident than with this baby. 640 horsepower, supercharged V8 in a Cadillac sedan. This is the fastest, most powerful Cadillac in its 112-year history. A 200-mile-an-hour freight train, and it is all business. Mercedes-AMG has some real competition now. It's got massive Brembo brakes, a 6-speed transmission, and what I love is the telemetry and in-car video capability that we saw in the Corvette Z06 last year. Going further back, you've got racing-inspired seats, and I love the way that this lower diffuser sort of kicks up, a nicely trimmed wing at the end. This is a straight-line performer. It looks like it'll turn well, but talking about a car that really handles, finally, Acura's NSX has been unveiled. When I was 17 years old, a family friend threw me the keys to a 1991 NSX, and it was a Ferris Bueller day. 900 miles later, I was in love, and this is the car that will replace the original. This is the new NSX. They won't tell me much about all the technology inside, but here's what I do know. It's got 2 motors up front on each axle. It's got 1 motor in the rear. It's got a V6 twin turbo engine. The whole power plant is putting out over 550 horsepower, a lot like Formula One technology through and through. This, though, is all about integrated technology. The NSX was such a great car because of the balance, because of the integration of the technology with the driver. Another fascinating thing, there's a brand new factory in Ohio where over 100 skilled workers will be building this beauty. It is gorgeous up close, let me tell you. If you look at all of the airflow coming through the sides, up the frame rail, it kicks up through the rear. It's all about pulling air in and letting it out the back. I can't wait to drive this thing. Hopefully we have a chance at Mid-Ohio this year. Now, speaking of IndyCar and Honda technology, if there's one thing I'm obsessed with, it's that Borg-Warner trophy. Let's go over to Rutledge, who's standing by with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Standing here at the Borg-Warner Trophy, you will find the Indy 500 champ who won the race last year, Ryan Hunter-Reay. What's it like having your name on the trophy, being the first American to win since 2006? What's it been like as that Indy 500 champ?
It's been amazing. It's been an unreal ride, but you know, to have my face on the Borg-Warner Trophy, it's something I've my whole life. I mean, I remember when I was a kid watching this race growing up, you know, idolizing the heroes of our sport. So
it's a special time, obviously, getting to come to Detroit, seeing a lot of people in your off season, but you guys are doing a lot of work. What are you guys doing to get back to that championship form?
Well, we've been real busy. I mean, it's been ramped up now because of the Aero Kit introduction. We're working really hard on all the new bits coming. That on-track product is something that IndyCar's worked hard on, so hopefully 2015 is going to be that much more competitive.
You're going to see lots more with Ryan Hunter-Reay and all his teammates coming up here on NBC Sports with our coverage.
Download the Auto Show Passport app to see all the new cars from Detroit and the other international auto shows on your iPhone, iPad, or Android device.
This is the all-new Nissan Titan.
Welcome back to Detroit. A moment ago, we talked Car of the Year. Now let's talk Truck of the Year. And once again, it is the Ford F-150. You know, Ford and F-150 are continuing an amazing streak. For the 33rd consecutive year, the F-150 is the best-selling vehicle in all of North America, car or truck. The 2015 version of the F-150 gets a few updates. Ford going with a lighter weight aluminum, which has lightened the truck by 700 pounds. Also, a couple of cool new innovations like this side step to help you get in the bed a little bit easier. Of course, it tucks away when you don't want to use it. And a brand new EcoBoost engine, which not only gives you more towing power, but also better fuel economy at 26 miles to the gallon. You want to soup up your F-150 a little bit? Well, how about the 2016 Ford F-150 Raptor? It too has gone through a lightening process, 500 pounds lighter by using a military-grade aluminum. It also has a beefier engine, in fact, more powerful than the 6.2-liter V8 that was in the previous Raptor. Some Fox off-road racing shocks for a little off-road four-wheel driving fun. And it also has a 10-speed manual transmission with a paddle shifter. The starting price, not announced yet. We expect it to be in the high $40,000 range. But for a truck this cool, you're going to have to wait a little while. Will not be in showrooms until the fall of 2016. For more on trucks, here's Kevin.
Thank you, Marty. Ram's 2015 Rebel pickup truck is, in a word, tall. Ram makes use of an exclusive air suspension and 33-inch tires to increase ride height in the Rebel, designed to appeal to those that want to take their pickups off-road. The Rebel comes with 4x2 and 4x4 powertrains, and you can choose either a 3.6-liter V6 or a 5.7-liter Hemi V8. Both engines are available with rear anti-spin differentials, another off-road feature. And if that's not enough off-road for you, there's a style package that includes all of the Rebel's off-road features. And note the front of the truck. It's not the traditional crosshairs, and the trim comes in all black. There's no escaping it. The Rebel is a big, brawny truck. There's no two-door cab or extended cab, no size large or extra large for the Ram Rebel, just double XL. The truck comes only in a full four-door version. The Rebel's interior is rugged too, with high durability, technical grain vinyl seats, and cloth inserts that mimic the tread of the truck's Toyo all-terrain tires. The Rebel is Ram's 10th model pickup, so you might think they have trucks covered, but Nissan says its 2016 Titan XD is a whole new class of pickup, in between a light-duty and heavy-duty hauler. The Titan XD 5-liter turbo diesel V8 can pull more than 12,000 pounds. Nissan calls the Titan a workplace warrior and precision tool designed to haul cargo and trailers. The Titan XD comes with two types of towing hitches and other towing-oriented features such as trailer brake, sway, and downhill speed controls. The Titan may match up with heavier pickups, but it's expected to be priced a bit lower. And fuel economy is pretty good for a truck of this size, 22 to 23 miles per gallon. This pickup may look a bit different from its competition, Chevy, Ford, and Ram, but it's made in America too. The Titan is manufactured in Canton, Mississippi. Now, if you're looking for luxury, I hear Kelly has found the latest from Audi.
Kevin, it seems like everyone is trying to lose some weight for the new year, and it's no exception for the 2016 Audi Q7. This baby has lost more than 700 pounds carried around by its predecessor, thanks to a new multi-material design which uses ultra-high-strength steel. It's also got a lot of aluminum in it too, used here in the front fenders, the hood, doors, and the rear hatch. Those changes saved over 150 pounds on the body alone, but it's still a luxury vehicle that remains available with third-row seating. It's still the most spacious car in its segment, and it's 26% more efficient than the current Q7. The exterior profile is familiar, but the details are more chiseled with a more prominent beltline. Not a surprise, right? You know, losing weight will do that for you. The roofline looks more canted back, and up front, that single-frame grille gets a little more sculpting. Inside, there's a horizontally oriented instrument panel motif, and the new MMI all-in-touch control makes operation a breeze. There's expanded services from Audi Connect, an Audi tablet for those rear seat passengers, and smartphone with Google Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Meanwhile, Lincoln hopes that its all-new 2016 MKX crossover will be a strong contender among luxury brand SUVs. This thing is loaded with 36 new features and technologies on the inside, but let's start by talking about its looks on the outside. The new MKX is sleeker, lower to the ground, and has refined its former wedgy look. The tail lamps are designed to make the overall look even wider, and the liftgate opening has been changed so it's easier to use. The typical MKX buyer is younger and more affluent, but insiders at Lincoln are confident that this vehicle will also appeal to a middle-aged family with older kids who still live at home. They're sure to enjoy the My Lincoln Touch infotainment system. There's a whole new set of buttons and knobs for various functions. Plus, the MKX is also the first in Lincoln's lineup to boast a premium audio system from Revel, which features 19 speakers. Other available features include a 360-degree camera system, 22-way adjustable front seats, an embedded hotspot, and pre-collision assist. And no matter which engine customers choose, it will be attached to a 6-speed automatic with available all-wheel drive.
Joey Logano, busy off-season for you. You're here in Detroit at the auto show. What are you doing racing with Brad Keselowski in the off-season?
Oh, well, you know, you can race anytime I can, and we're actually here, like I said, the auto show up here in Detroit. We're promoting the Shell Eco Marathon coming up. They're going to race through the streets in Detroit, and it's really neat. It's really all about fuel mileage.
So we're looking forward to the NASCAR season. What else are you going to be able to do with your off-season before we see you back in Daytona?
Go crazy. I need to race something. I don't get to drive nothing until Daytona, and it's tough for me. Believe me, I'm putting a lot of miles on my four-wheeler and go-kart tracks and whatever I can find. I'm jumping in, ready to race. It's definitely been pretty cool.
We're going to see lots more of Joey Logano on NASCAR America as we get ready for the new NASCAR season.
Coming up, Ford has a new supercar. Rutledge gives us a primer on autonomous cars, as well as more new rides from the North American International Auto Show here in Detroit. Welcome back to North American International Auto Show on NBC Sports. The talk of Detroit has been this car, the Ford GT. Of course, GT has long time been a staple for Ford in their supercar category, but they unveiled an amazing brand new one here in 2015. 600 horsepower, all powered by a V6 EcoBoost engine in a twin turbo format. Believe it or not, that's a lot of power coming out of a V6 engine. Everything on this car has been designed to be lightweight. A lot of use of carbon fibers, a lot of lightweight aluminums as well. Also, everything on the car designed to maximize downforce, minimize drag, including the active rear spoiler, which works with you depending on what you're doing with the pedals. In fact, when you brake, it acts as a brake as well. But perhaps the coolest feature, the carbon fiber seats. They're actually built into the body. So in this car, rather than you moving to the pedals and the dash and the pedals actually move to you. Certainly a very cool feature in the new Ford GT. The rumor mill, it'll cost about $400,000. It'll be out later this year. 400 grand is like pocket change from my good friend Townsend Bell, who's found more horsepower here at Ford.
Well, listen to this thing, Marty. It's got a V8 and it'll save you a couple $100 grand. This is the 2016 Shelby GT350R. Now, R is race spec. This is a track day driver's dream. It starts out back with this very unique rear wing. I'm told this is the most efficient and powerful rear wing ever put on a Mustang. Makes a lot of downforce. And then to lighten the thing up, they've gone to carbon fiber wheels. Previously, that's only something we'd ever see on an exclusive exotic, but it's here on this Mustang. Saves about 50 pounds total in unsprung weight. And then inside the car, everything that doesn't have to do with speed has been removed. And then the engine is everything in the Mustang. V8, 5.2 liters. I'm told this will rev at or above 8,000 RPM, making well over 500 horsepower. So that's what's going on with sports cars here in America. Let's head over to Italy with Alfa Romeo. This stunning 1967 Alfa Romeo Stradale serves as the inspiration for Alfa's hot new sports car, the 4C. Now, the 4C's been out for a little while, but they've just announced their Spider version, taking the roof off it. It's a beautiful car. It's lightweight, very, very quick. But what really impresses me is a full carbon fiber tub, just like an Indy car, much like Porsche or Ferrari super exotics, but in a car that's priced at about $70,000. It's a 4-cylinder engine, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, a top speed of about 160 miles an hour. But it's all about the way she looks, and it is gorgeous. Now, unfortunately for drivers, Rutledge is over talking about how to delete the driver with autonomous cars.
Sometimes when you have a driver like Townsend, you want to take the control away from them. And that's exactly what Mercedes has done with their new concept, the FO15. At first glance, this car's Minority Report meets the newest Vegas nightclub. The FO15 is more like a study on how to make a car feel like you're riding in a spa. Imagine if Virgin Airlines started a taxi service. That's what this feels like. From the use of a rear LCD panel displaying information to the vehicles behind it, to a laser system that provides a clear path for pedestrians to walk in front of it. Inside the car, that's where this vehicle takes you to another world. With organic elements like a wood floor and ice-white Napa leather to the wall-mounted instrument panel. And after you pick up a few friends, the seats will turn to face one another as the car continues on its route for the night. You might never want to drive again. If the Mercedes is about giving up control, then the Audi A7 is a concept that gives control back to the driver. Imagine being stuck in traffic in a beautiful car like this RS7. Well, debuting last month at the Consumer Electronics Show, Audi showed off their new concept that really gives you the best of both worlds. Full driver ability when you want it, and the ability to pass it off at times you don't. Let's say you're stuck in traffic. You can let the car handle the braking, the accelerating, and the steering up to 37 miles an hour. So you can have a cup of coffee, send a text message, do whatever you want. Once the car hits 37 miles an hour, it alerts the driver and you take back over control of the car.
We call it piloted driving for the very reason we want the driver to be the pilot still, and the car is really supplementing or giving the driver the option to have a little bit more relaxing drive, or to have take a little bit of the stress out of the drive. And so to that extent, the driver still is the one who turns it on, turns it off, and can override it at any time.
One final look at the future of autonomous cars could help solve the age-old trouble of finding a parking spot. BMW has a new concept feature for the i3 they call the Remote Valet Parking Assistant. Here's how it works. You pull up to a parking deck, ready to go do a little shopping, and you get out. Then you tell the car to go park itself, where it will drive up and around until it finds a parking spot, and then it waits there until you call it back using your BMW smartwatch. With all this new technology nearly at our fingertips, for now, the driving control is right in the palm of our hands.
Up next, luxury cars and some more sports cars as we continue from Detroit on NBC Sports. Download the Auto Show Passport app to see all the new cars from Detroit and the other international auto shows on your iPhone, iPad, or Android device. Back in Detroit, we've certainly seen a lot of cool cars so far in the show, but how about if that one was in your driveway? It'll be fast, we know that, but I think one guy might take exception to that. That is the Verizon IndyCar Chevrolet, driven by Will Power, Verizon IndyCar Series champion in 2014. You're here in Detroit unveiling the Verizon vehicle. Exactly what is that?
Yeah, Verizon vehicle is it's a pretty cool system. It's similar to what we use in the race car when you have your engineers back in the pit and they're seeing live telemetry of what's going on in your car, what's going on with the engine. It's a very simple little plug you put in. You have a speaker that goes up on your visor, and you have a service that monitors everything that's going on with your car 24/7.
Let's talk about 2015 for the IndyCars themselves. Some subtle changes on the car. You've driven the 2015 car. What's your take?
It's going to be fast. The Aero Kit is a lot more efficient, so you're getting more downforce, more grip and suction to the ground for not much more drag.
It's going to be fun to watch Will Power in 2015. We, of course, kick off our coverage with the Brazil race in a couple of months. So from the speed of Will Power's car to a little luxury with Kevin Lee.
Thanks, Marty. This is Jaguar's 2016 XE. Its new compact sports sedan, which makes it sort of like a Jaguar kitten. It has the classic Jaguar curves and still inside, luxurious, high-tech interior, but may not be quite as plush as Jaguar fans are used to. But this is Jaguar's entry-level car, so some economizing is expected. 75% of the XE's body and suspension are made from aluminum, including some recycled aluminum, making it lighter and stronger and nimble. After years of disappointing sales, Jaguar hopes the XE can catch other compact luxury sports sedans like BMW's 3 Series and the Audi A4. The XES, the top trim model, has a 350 horsepower V6 engine. The other option is a 240 horsepower turbocharged 4. There are more than a few new features in this Jag: a new rear drive power platform, all-wheel drive is optional, and electric power steering, the first time any Jaguar has had that. Unlike sleek Jaguars, Volvos aren't often called sexy, but this one just might be an exception. The S60 XC, or Cross Country, is the Chinese-owned Swedish car company's new entry into the crossover markets. The S60 XC is similar to Volvo's V60 Cross Country wagon. It has 2.5 inches more clearance than the regular S60. Volvo first introduced the high-riding crossover concept back in 1997, but this is its first cross-country sedan.
Not everybody wants a wagon, but we have a ground clearance and a very capable car. So it's a nimble car that can take you anywhere.
So it's both a luxury sedan and a four-wheel vehicle. Some are going to love this car, especially Volvo fans. In the US, it'll be powered by Volvo's T5 2.5-liter, 250 horsepower engine and have a 6-speed automatic transmission. The Volvo S60 XC becomes available in the U.S. sometime this summer at a price of about $40,000.
More to come from the Auto Show in Detroit on NBC Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 GSF.
Welcome back to Detroit as we start to wrap up our coverage of the 2015 North American International Auto Show here on NBC Sports with another example of how Buick is really targeting the younger audience. Here in Detroit, they've unveiled their first convertible in 25 years. This is the Buick Cascada. It's actually been a very successful car in Europe under the Opel label for the last several years. Buick deciding to bring it to the U.S. as a 2016 model. The car has 200 horsepower. The top comes down in 17 seconds, and it can come down while you're at speed as long as you're under 30 miles an hour. Now, GM has not set a price point for this car as of yet, but our sources tell us that you can get the Buick Cascada in your showrooms early in 2016 for around $35,000. Now, of course, Townsend needed to find a little more trouble here in Detroit. I think he's found some sports cars. Townsend, where are you hiding out?
Well, Marty, you found me at another high-performance car, and the luxury brands continue to up the ante, and Lexus is no exception. This is the new GSF, the high-performance variant of the GS sedan. Much like the RCF Coupe, this thing is angry right from the very start. It looks like a vacuum cleaner just trying to suck up the road beneath it. Coming further back, you've got big gills releasing all the air inside the wheel wells to help cool the brakes. It's a 5-liter V8 making 467 horsepower, 8-speed sequential transmission. But inside, for the driver and passenger, possibly the best high-performance seats I've ever driven in that RCF. These seats are the same. But back for the passengers, in the center console, you've got these really elegantly integrated digital controls for climate control, audio, heated seats, etc. Guys, the performance brands with the luxury manufacturers are really going at it. Here at Mercedes-Benz, they have the BMW X6 squarely in their sights with this. This is the 2016 AMG GLE 63S Coupe. Probably need a few more descriptors there. 577 horsepower, about 560 foot-pounds of torque. That goes through a G-Matic 7-speed transmission. It's got about a 40-60% split front to rear, and that's a full-time all-wheel drive system. What does that mean? 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. And you got to slow this thing down. It's got monster brakes, huge rotors and calipers, and those are shrouded by 22-inch wheels and tires. I mean, the thing is a beast. Now, we started out with the minivan. Minivan wasn't cool, we had to go to the SUV. SUV, a little bit stale, had to go to the SUV Coupe. SUV Coupe, yeah, that's all right, but we need more power. We're now at 600 horsepower almost with this trend. I don't know where this thing ends, but I like where it's going.
Well, unfortunately, our time has to wrap up here. It's been fun. Rutt and I have been running around this floor for over an hour now, and I just want to get your overall take on the show and your highlights. I want to start, though, with concept cars. What really stuck out to you?
There were some great concepts here, Marty. I mean, the cars like the Buick Avenir, that's a car that screams Buick of the future. We saw some really cool innovations in a lot of different cars. The Volkswagen Cross Coupe GT, there was some really cool hands-on stuff there. But for me, the one that jumped out the most was the Hyundai Santa Cruz. It was
somehow I knew you would like that one.
It's like a modern-day El Camino, and we know it would never look like that if it made it to production. But the idea of a half truck, half car, there's a reason that people keep coming back to that. It's really functional.
I have a feeling we'll never see that one actually in production. I do want to jump to trucks and get what stood out to you on the truck front.
Big year for trucks, as you know. Obviously, Nissan stepping up with the redesign of the Titan. Having a V8 Cummins diesel in the Titan is huge. That's going to be crazy to see what happens. We obviously saw with the Ram Rebel, they're trying to chase what Ford has done with the Raptor, but the Raptor has stepped it up again.
Awesome.
To have
10-speed.
10-speed paddle shift in a truck?
It's crazy.
It's going to blow people's minds. I mean, that thing, it's so indestructible. Having spent some time in there, it's a gnarly truck that's going to do really well.
We always have fun looking at the sports cars. I saw a lot of speed on the floor this year. What was the one that jumped out to you?
How about Cadillac with the CTS-V, the most powerful car they've ever made, 640 horsepower out of that LT4.
I think you could race that thing.
You could. I think you really could go and take it and race it the next day. We saw the Acura NSX is back. To see it up close like that, it's going to be an incredible car. The one that kind of surprised me, I heard a lot about, was the Alfa Romeo 4C Spider. This is a car in magazines, you can't wait to see it. You and I would never be able to fit in that car.
The two big boys couldn't fit in it, could we?
It makes a Mini Cooper look like a stretch limo.
All right, a lot of cars on the floor. You've got to pick one, though, as your favorite. What is it?
Oh, it would have to be the Ford GT. To see that car up close, it really is like a car has driven off the screen of a video game. That's the best way to put it. The ideas and stuff that's gone into that car is insane. Now, I do wish that they would make maybe one of them with the engine out of that GT350R. I do think the EcoBoost V6 in there is going to be awesome. They're going to crank it up. But something about just feeling like maybe it needs that V8 in there
hear
screaming.
That raw noise, don't you?
You know what? We could convince Townsend to buy one and have them special order it. Then you and I can drive it.
That's the only way you and I are going to get one, right?
That's for sure.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us this year for the 2015 North American International Auto Show. It's been a fun ride. We've enjoyed showing you all the new rides for 2015. So for Rutledge Wood, Kelly Stavis, Kevin Lee, and Townsend Bell, I'm Marty Snyder. We'll see you in the showroom in 2015.